Please enter job cost code followed by the pound or hash sign. You are the only participant in the conference. The conference has been locked. The recording has started.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to another edition of Sip the Tally Films presents post-game call-in show. I'm Coach Evans. Ravens pulled out a... Well, while I'm talking, let me check my audio first. Yeah, I'm good. So, Ravens pulled out a 24-10 victory after trailing at halftime. I think it's the first time in 20 games where we were trailing at halftime and actually came back to win the game. Shout out to Tribe One for coming through with the deuce and the super chat. Another non-big game. Fearless, big trust. Woo woo. Now I will say this. And let me give you a little something. And my friend Michael Crawford kind of brought this to my attention.
Woo woo. Lamar Jackson in the flesh.
Michael Crawford kind of brought this to my attention a few minutes ago. And if you're not necessarily from where I'm from, you don't, know a lot about this. But this is how I'm feeling after this win. Yeah. if you're not from where I'm from, you kind of don't know how that gets your blood going. But that's how I'm feeling after that win. And the reason why I'm gonna tell you, because so many things were in favor of us just laying an egg. The guys that had COVID, Marlon being out, the injury to the two O linemen, Calais get hurt early. Lamar ain't really playing well. Hollywood's tweet. It's so many things could have contributed to us just laying an egg and laying it down and just basically tanking it. And I don't mean tanking it for the season. I just mean tanking it in general. And then the first half. And again, I missed the first quarter, so I know what's the name? Humphreys got a strip, and Chuck picked it up, and Phillip Rivers fell kind of awkwardly, and Chuck hurdled him and scored. Then they had a nice drive down the field also. But the second half, so I tuned in first play of the second half up into halftime, and we looked like, I really didn't recognize that squad out there. It was almost one of those instances where you was like, uh-oh, here we go again. Here we go again. So, and went into halftime losing 10-7, and I was like, man. And not trying to take away anything from the Coltts, because the Coltts got a pretty good defense. They got a pretty good defense. And Phillip Rivers is push you in the same mindset of Ben Roethlisberger, to where he can change all his plays at the line. He can pretty much just give it protection and then tell every receiver what to do based on what he thinks the defense is in. And he's good at it. Not trying to, no shade to Phillip Rivers. He's good at what he does. Him and Ben, not very mobile, but they're extremely intelligent. They're extremely seasoned as far as quarterbacks. And they've had success. Phillip not so much as Ben, because Ben got some Super Bowls. But they've had success, and they're good at running the offense. So hats off to them for kind of moving the ball and doing what they did. But the second half looked like 2019 Baltimore. Like, let me give you one stat that was mind blowing to me. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put it on the screen. Let me put it on the screen. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. Let me put this on the screen for us. All right, looking at the stat sheet, and y'all know I always harp. Even when I was doing my keys to victory, which I need to get back to, I harp on time possession. So let me scroll down to time possession. We won time possession 33-26, but that's not the stat I want to show you. Let me scroll down a little further till I find it. This is the one I want to show you. Look right here in this third quarter. That's the time possession for the third quarter. It's only 15 minutes in the quarter. We held the ball for the entire third quarter, which means for those 3 plays that I think Indianapolis had, our defense was fresh. Oh, I don't know what that B sound is. Maybe it's like humming or something from the air conditioner or whatnot. But the defense was fresh. And when they're fresh, it go back to last year and 2 years ago. When our defense is fresh, no matter who's out there, you're not getting much on us. Our defense gives it up when they play too many plays. That's when our defense give it up. So no matter who's out there, if we keep them fresh and control the clock like that, big time time possession. But let me unlock these phone lines and see if we can get some callers in here while I kind of run down the stats. There we go. Let me take that off. Don't want to give y'all everything that's on my desktop and all that good stuff. There we go. We'll leave that there. Let me unlock this.
The conference has been unlocked.
Right. So now I got my phone lines open. Get my headphones just in case we do get a caller so I can hear them. Bam. Miss Antoinette, how you doing? So again, big plays from the game. Chuck Clark's fumble. Recovery by Marcus Peters. Marcus Peters interception that almost went unchallenged. And yeah, they were saying he made he took his third step was a quarterback. I mean, was a receiving move or something like that. But he had 4 steps by my count. He had 4 steps by my count. Like, that ball should not have been blown dead. To me, that was a clear catch, fumble, and we should have been able to advance that fumble. But I'll take the interception, as far as it not being incomplete. So I'm ecstatic about the win. And it wasn't a lot of stats thrown out there. We didn't have a ton of rushing yards. It just we did what we had to do to win, coming off a crazy bye week. We got our first caller. What's that? 651 or 851? 651. Go ahead. Can't hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, I got you now.
Hey, it's Phil.
Go ahead, Phil.
Hey, man. I watched the game and everything. What I noticed is that I appreciate the fact that they were a lot cleaner today. Offensively and defensively. I know in the first half, Indy's defense was, they was doing what they were going to do. Indy has a top 5 defense in the league, so you got to give props to them. But in the second half, my goodness, it reminded me of like when the Ravens were in peak season form, 2019. And like their defense was just, just rambunctious and just, energetic, full of life and everything. And, you was right when you said, if you keep them fresh, they're gonna be basically unstoppable.
Lamar Jackson.
You keep
in the flesh.
Yeah.
that's gonna go off when I get super chats. Go ahead.
Yeah, you keep them fresh. You keep them fresh. They're gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine. And offensively, there's some things that I like, and there's still some things that I got to work on. Lamar, although his stat line wasn't like big like it usually was, he was very efficient. He didn't turn. I don't think he turned the ball over. He protected himself very well, and he made timely key decisions. And I'm starting to think, Lamar's maturing, as a player. He's gonna realize some games, I'm not gonna have the 300 passing, 150-yard rushing, virtuoso. Sometimes you just gotta manage the game like he did today. And when he needed to make those plays, he made those plays. Moving forward, I'll just say continue to correct the small stuff, continue to adjust to anything that, may have, didn't work well today, even though you won. Continue to make adjustments to continue to get better. And, I believe, this team is going to be championship material. This team is championship material. I actually got them as my AFC pick in the Super Bowl.
Okay. You should. You should. The thing is, and the reason I say that is because this thing's a marathon. It is not a sprint. It is not a sprint. And as long as you're building up, when it hits December, you got a chance. You got a chance.
And that's like,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. And they got Dez Bryant. They activated Dez Bryant. I know they got injury. I know they got injuries on the line, but I believe in Lamar's development. The media was giving him a hard time. Because of the KC and the Pittsburgh losses. Which understandably, but I believe that Lamar not only as an athlete, but as the schematics of the game, he's matured so much that this man is going to be a problem. Like you're finna see some. I'm speaking this right now. Y'all finna see something from Lamar that ain't been seen since prime Tom Brady, prime Peyton Manning. This man's finna start dissecting defenses like no other. You can see it. You can see it now. The way he's checking down, the way he's killing plays, calling for the run to the right. He is getting better at that, and it's not just a rush anymore. It's almost instantaneous that he's doing it. The way he's seeing defense, the way he's creating check downs, to his check down receivers so they can get open. It's the maturation process of this man. It's one of the fastest I've seen for a young quarterback in a long time, and I really appreciate that. And not just his physical aspects, that's just God given. But the mental acumen that he's acquired over these 3 years, that's going to be his most dangerous quality, and he's going to be dissecting and destroying defenses for the next 10 to 15 years.
I agree 100%. Especially once his they trust him to throw the ball down the field more, And one thing I did realize today, and somebody just mentioned it in the chat box, our O line is probably part of the reason why he's pressing so much. Because even in some of the runs, the D lineman for Indianapolis and the linebacker, I think Leonard, was just basically replacing O linemen. Like they were on their backs, and we were lucky enough to have a shifty back like J.K. J.K. had to avoid Bozeman, then spin off of Leonard in the hole. That's amazing on the play.
That's
and then
amazing,
like the Lamar touchdown when he bootlegged, the entire left side was on the ground.
Yeah, that's on the ground. I'm just saying, man. If they offensive line was fully healthy, you give Lamar time. Like, some of these teams be giving these quarterbacks time. He's gonna carve you up. They say, I think they're gonna open up the offense. The next couple years. I even think it's, there's part of the reason they can open up the offense this season. Lamar's gonna develop and everything. But the thing is, once that offense opens, you're not gonna be able to stop them. Either you're going to get to the quarterback with 4, which is a rare these days because
they did that first half.
Yeah, they did that first half, but it's rare that you have a defensive line that can get to the quarterback with 4 for 60 minutes plus in a game. It's rare. Like the only teams historically that have done it, 2000 Ravens, 2007 Giants, 2011 Giants, they had those dudes. But today, in today's game, and the game is more geared toward the offense and the quarterback and everything. You give Lamar time, and he's improving on his throws. Man, it's gonna be a clinic. It's gonna be the Lamar Jackson show all day. Big trust, woo woo, all day long.
Most definitely. And you spitting a ton of facts, and you preaching to the choir when it comes to me. Even though I criticize Lamar, I'm still 100% behind him, and I trust him, and I believe him. And it's different. He's a different kind of guy because he's so blessed with his legs. So he has the opportunity to get out of situations. Because a lot of his rushing yards came from him dropping back and not liking to read and running. And that's how I feel like a lot of his yards should come. I wouldn't necessarily call a lot of QB specific runs. Yeah, I wouldn't call a lot of design runs for him. But send those guys down the field and let them, take the D with him, and then let him create after that.
And the thing is he can use there's packages that I've seen him use where he can use his running as a decoy. When they do they have a spread option. Basically, they do a zone read and he's rolling like he's gonna run, and then you can get somebody like Andrews coming off a little rug and you get him over the top. They can use that, but the scary part is when this man's arm, when his accuracy and his precision gets to an elite level, like I feel like it, like I know it can, and his athleticism's already elite. It's just gonna be unstoppable. Like I feel like this man is gonna win multiple MVPs and he's gonna win Super Bowls. It's just gonna take time. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take time for him to get there. He's already an MVP type player. It's just the little things that you got to develop. And I'm just saying is that every week find something to adjust. Every week, look at film, okay? I'm looking, trying to become a better passer, okay? How do I get my receivers involved? How do I make sure I'm distributing the ball and not just, forcing the ball every time? How do I make sure I can manipulate defenders on the back end? Can I manipulate the safeties? If they're in single high and I want to go deep, can I manipulate the safety to one side or the other side of the field? If there's a blitz, can I check down? Can I call, can I make adjustments? Can I change formation and everything? It's the little schematic things. And he's already doing it. Right. I think, last year he was top 3 in completion percentage against the blitz. This year he's top 5, top 10 completion percentage against the blitz. And I know he's trying to become more of a pocket passer and everything. And that's great because you don't want to hurt your legs. But I'm remember, your legs are don't. The media has a negative connotation of mobile quarterbacks, especially mobile black quarterbacks. There's always been that negative connotations that if stuff is not working out, they can only run, and they're using their escapability as a negative. It's not a negative. God gave you the ability to run a 4.2 40, 4.3 40. Use that ability. It don't matter what the media say. Yes, you want to get better. Yes, you want to become a better passer. Yes, you want to be more precise in everything that you do. But if God gave you something that he's blessed you with, and you've been using it, and you've been dominating on every single level ever since you started playing football. Use it. The things with the schematical things, the little things, they will come if you keep working. If you keep working, it will all come to pass. But for right now, use what you got and always look to improve. Never settle. And that's what I like about Lamar. He's always looking to improve. I've seen him improve during games. I've seen him have bad spurts where he's made decisions where I've questioned his. Like, I'm like, bro, Lamar, man, what are you doing? You don't make throws like that. And it's like, and then like, two series later, he's like, shocking awe. I'm like, man, this man is just crazy good, man. But it's the little things, and I'm just like, man, continue to pray for the man, continue to, lift him up and everything. Just pray that, he realizes that, man, it's one day at a time, 1 week at a time. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. We looking for something bigger than, MVPs and awards. We going for Super Bowl rings.
Big time, big trust. And man, I appreciate you, man. It's a great call as always. And I told y'all last week we was gonna come back and bounce back. I didn't know how it was gonna work out, but I believe in the fight and determination in those guys. I'm so ecstatic at the adjustments in game plan they made. Like, we actually saw, and I can't wait to see the all 22 so I can see the full route concepts. But we saw throws down the field. We saw it wasn't all. I mean, we still saw that pistol play action in the flat stuff, but we saw balls down the field. So
down the field. I forgot.
I'm amazed.
I don't know. I don't know all they. I know they got. I forgot. I don't know really everybody on their wide receiving core because I'll be watching all the games on this one big screen and everything. But there was one route that they ran. It was like a double up and in, and I was like, man, Lamar threw that on the money.
Yeah, and from watching the view, I didn't see a lot. I saw the end result with the TV view, but I can't wait to see the all 22 and kind of look at the concepts and see.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I appreciate you, Phil, man. Let me get these other guys in here, and thank you for calling. I appreciate your support too, and big trust, baby.
Yes, sir. You have a blessed day.
You too, buddy. All right, before we bring our next guy in, which is Godson, which is one of my guys, I want to send a salute from Miss Antoinette for coming through with the Cash App. Salute to you. Salute to Jared for coming through with the deuce. And I think Jared threw 2 deuces in the super chat. I appreciate you guys. Salute. Let's go to Godson, who's up next. What up? What up?
What's going on, man? Feel good to get another victory, man.
Most definitely. And we talked about it last week. We was gonna have a dub. We called it last week.
We definitely did. Yep.
What you like about the game?
Yep. Man, real quick, Phil killed it, man. Phil broke it down to the fullest. I was following everything Phil was saying, but I do feel like see with Lamar, man. I watch y'all week and the way they be coming at this young man, man. It be pissing me off. Of course, I'm a Ravens fan or whatnot, and I just want him to go out there and get out of his head and do what I know he can do. And that first half, it looked like he was in his head, man, real bad. And then that second half, he came out clicking.
Mm-hmm.
He came out clicking, man. And I'm like, I was feeling like, to be honest with you, that at the end of the third quarter, I kept saying, we back.
Yeah.
We back. Like
that third quarter, like old Ravens football.
Yep, we back. It's official now. So for him to it ain't official until we see it some more. But I think that it can keep going like that. For him to come out and get out his head at halftime, G-Ro talked to him or whatnot, and they make the adjustments. And he came out and diced them dudes, man. I love my team, man. It was a good win, a big win, because I know everybody looking at it like it's an easy win. Ain't no such thing of a big game, a non-big game, in my opinion. All the games count.
Yep.
So I'm just saying, but I know people want to be like, it's just the Coltts, man. Y'all don't beat nobody when it counts. The Coltts was 5-2.
Exactly.
Just
same record.
We lost this game as we did.
Same record. We had the exact same record, 5-2. And
Same
you are what your record say
yep.
you are. You are what your record says you are. So that, to me, that was especially with all the stuff that went on. We had 8 guys out for the COVID situation. No Marlon. no Ronnie, no starting right guard, which that wasn't the biggest thing because of his play. But
Calais
then
went out.
just Calais went out first drive. Now I was listening when that happened, so I was like, oh snap. But to fight through all that and to come out and play that type of second half is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And to stop their run, because I believe they got the best offensive lineman in football.
Yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
Colts have the
And
best offense. The one individual guy, I think he's the best offensive lineman in football.
Yeah, but we also gotta give credit to that D line. Man, that defense looking crazy, man.
Yeah.
They was on everything pretty much until like that second half when we was burning them up, where they was tired and they couldn't get settled.
Yep.
They was on everything that first half. We couldn't get nothing to going. So
It
yeah,
flipped.
that defense. Yep.
Flipped. That their defense was all over us first half. Then that second half, when we rested those guys and they were able to come out fresh
Trust. Woo woo. Lamar Jackson.
in the flesh. Hey, appreciate that, Kahan. I think it's Kahan. I hope I pronounced that right. And I'll get to your question as soon as Godson finished. Go ahead.
Yeah, all I'm saying is, man, I'm just calling it to show, respect and love to your show and whatnot. But at the end of the day, this is a big win. We need it, and like you said just a few minutes ago when you was on the phone with Phil, it's a marathon, man.
Yeah.
We 6-2. I think, to be honest with you, and I ain't even gonna say because I ain't trying to jinx this or nothing, but
The conference has been locked.
let's start moving, man. We about to wake up.
Yeah.
And,
if that second half is any indication of it, look out. Look out.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, Coach, before I get off the phone, it's this dude. His name Jason Kruger, Sports Production.
Jackson
He do like
Kruger.
yeah. He do like a breakdown of different players, and he normally at the Ravens game he throws stuff up. He having some pretty good breakdown. Little young guy. If you get a chance, check him out, man. Pretty good.
Tell you what, just DM me with that, and we can talk about that. Obviously, you don't catch the shade being thrown on this channel.
I don't. All right, well, break it down to me now. Yeah.
I ain't gonna break it down on
hit
the
you
stream. I ain't gonna break it down live. Mike knows it. One of my followers, Michael Brown, he caught it instantly when I said it the first time, and so he kind of picked up on the same thing I do too. But we can talk about it. Man, he do have some good stuff, so I ain't gonna completely shade him. But once I give you my opinion on it, you'll kind of see, oh yeah, like that.
Okay.
It'll be like a light bulb type deal.
All right.
I appreciate you.
Coach, man. Most definitely, man. Keep going, man. Appreciate your content as always.
Have a blessed Sunday, brother.
All you do the same, man.
Close that. All right, let me get to Kahan's question before I move to the next caller. He says, "Do you think vanilla play calling on purpose?" I don't. I think we actually opened it up a little bit this week. I don't think we was as vanilla as we had been because people are starting to figure out parts of our offense. So we have to start opening it up to do other things. We saw a lot more screens this week. We saw tempo this week, and we saw some simple RPOs that I hadn't seen in a while. So that's G-Ro like going backwards, but going forward, if that makes sense. He reached back into last year's playbook, pulled some things out, which made us look better on offense in the second half. And you got to commend the man for that because ego can kind of take over and be like, nah, we running these plays and we good at these. But still, and move on to my next caller.
Hey, Coach, can you hear me?
410. Who we got on the line?
Can you hear me, Coach?
Yeah, I hear you.
Hey, what's up, man? This is Justin.
What's up, Justin?
Hey, man, I'm the guy who called in with you and Vach back when we drafted Patrick Queen.
Okay,
I definitely watch your videos, man. I appreciate your film study and all that, man. And I'm not one to be on. I'm not a big social media guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I do watch. YouTube is pretty much the extent of it. In Madden, I definitely play games. I'm nice on the sticks. But I was just gonna say, man, just quick, just to give you some rapid fire stuff.
Okay.
Because I appreciate your perspective from a coach's eye.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm gonna just say some things, and then maybe you can touch on them once I hang up.
Okay. I'll touch on them while you're here. We good.
All right. Shout out to all the Ravens fans, and hope everybody is having a blessed day. Lamar, I think Lamar is still like 90%. I don't think he's healthy off that knee. Less, it's not as much wiggle, not as much juke. I mean, he's kind of one cut go. Play calling. If you look at the post game comments, the interview with John Harbaugh, he basically attributed the second half success to execution. When I think that's the total opposite. He's not going to throw. They're loyal, which he should be, and this is what I love about my team. I mean, we don't panic, so to speak. Overall, we're not a panic-driven team. But I do think there are times where John Harbaugh will take and put handcuffs on certain players so they won't turn the ball over at crucial times. You know what I mean? This is big business right here.
Right.
You can't, if somebody's having a bad day, you got 53 men on the field giving it all that they can. You can't have one man.
Can I answer? I want to, before I forget, and you tell me if you agree or not. When Gus fumbled that first time, Pats or old John Harbaugh would have never put Gus in the rest of the game, and probably for another 2 or 3 weeks. Do you agree?
I think because of Gus's equity, I think he would, and because he's a running back. But quarterback, he will put the handcuffs on Joe Flacco quick.
Yeah, I didn't think we was gonna see Gus a lot more that game, but he proved me wrong.
Who are you gonna go to? Because you got
JK
Mark on the side, JK, but JK need a breather now. Maybe Justice, maybe.
Yeah, Justice got a few snaps, but he didn't touch the ball. He got a few snaps, but he didn't touch the ball.
You know what I'm saying? And I agree. So we both agree that John Harbaugh got a way of putting handcuffs on you.
Oh yeah, most definitely, most definitely. 100%.
So I think there were times when Lamar had handcuffs on him. And then if you notice, all the games that we were behind, once they take the handcuffs off and they start letting them throw the ball around the field, that's when we start coming back. A la the first Tennessee game at home when we lost and we almost came back in the end. And I think that's what the frustration was last week. You follow what I'm saying? That's why I think players had the, confidence kind of to voice their opinion, because I believe the offense was handcuffed. Second half, the whole first half, I was yelling at the TV like they got to do something with Greg Roman. Everything but fire Greg Roman. Because if you notice, getting back to what you said, ego. Bro, just run. You touched on it. Run RPOs.
Yep.
You can run a run-pass option all day long, and we're going to be successful. Yep. That's where we should live at. Stop having this play action. Stop having Lamar turn his back, on this defensive front, because you're not going to have time for all of that for those plays to develop. That's the problem. That's all. That's really it's been going on.
And then they're screaming guys at him, so by the time he turn around, somebody's in his face. They're screaming. They're screaming one person at him all the time. So when he turned back from turning his back to the defense, somebody's right there. So you exactly right.
2 or 3 handoffs by that time. Skura, Bozeman, and McCarty, all of them destroyed by one linebacker. What do you know? Listen, I know guys are great, right? You know what I mean? But in what football game on any level does a linebacker destroy, offensive lineman? Consistently?
Not consistently.
You know what I'm saying?
You may get them once or twice, but not consistently. You're right.
You can see Lamar looking like, and JK like, golly, you know what I mean? You got JK doing spins before he get the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Come on, man. And if you noticed last week, what happened? They showed it. Even Brian Balding had touched on it. They started running zone schemes versus gap assignments. Hat on the hat. Stop running that. Stop running. Run power. Power is the only gap assignment run plays we should run. Other than
inside zone, outside zone, power.
Inside zone all day long, because we like they said, the Ravens are built to come back, but we're not built to play outside of our scheme. You know what I mean? And if you notice, Lamar started having them angles and them creases. When you stop running all that power and pulls and stuff that Bozeman really can't do that well. You know what I mean? And let these guys hit a gap and let your running backs and your quarterback navigate the blocking. Let them control it instead of your offensive line putting hat on hat, because we're not built for that right now.
I will say I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. My bad.
No, go ahead, Coach. I'm talking a whole lot.
I will say that it may be fool's gold because Bozeman was our primary puller last year, But we can't negate the fact that Marshall Yonder was caving stuff down.
Yes.
To where Bozeman could be where he needed to be in step 2 or 3. Now you got a right guard that ain't necessarily caving stuff down. He just kind of holding the point, and Bozeman got to do 3 or 4 extra steps. And by that time, the linebacker's filling that gap.
That's why I really wanted a center. You understand? Because the center actually becomes that left guard or right guard in that power scheme. You know, because they're the ones who are really anchoring. You know, them, and then then Lando, as big as he is, they got him going to the next level. He would miss his blocks anyway, you know, but he was just so big, you just run behind him. But the key to that power is the center.
Yep.
But in that zone scheme, man, them tackles can eat. Lionel Brown was destroying the Steelers. They was on the sideline arguing with each other last week because we couldn't stop. Our whole running scheme should be based off of that
Lamar Jackson in the flesh.
Zone scheme.
Yep.
Everything should be based off of that. And then you'll have time for Hollywood. Something else. I don't know. I'm talking a lot. Man, we should go down the field. Go downfield early in the downs sequence. You know what I mean? Even if you don't complete it, be a victim. Who's a better victim, Torrey Smith or Hollywood Brown? If you push Hollywood Brown, I mean, like he's gonna fall about 8 yards. You know what I'm saying? The beauty of Torrey Smith was not that he caught the ball. But if he didn't catch the ball, guess what he was going to get? A flag.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We ate off of that. We ate off of pass interference all the way to the Super Bowl.
Question. We need, and because you spoke on Torrey Smith, this is where Snead and Dez and Boykin comes into play. Send Hollywood down the field. Send him down the field. Make them have an extra safety. And Duvernay, yes. Make them have an extra safety in there. Then we can throw intermediate stuff. Then the run lanes will be enormous. But Hollywood ain't got to catch but 1 or 2 deep balls. 1 or 2.
Coach, what? This is why I'm so upset with Greg Roman. You got 2 Torrey Smiths. Put Duvernay on one side. Put Hollywood on the other side. There goes your 8-man boxes. Now everybody eating. Just run downfield. Stop running Hollywood across the middle. I understand he's the only one that's making the play. But if you use him the way that you're supposed to, listen, man, that's like having a Ferrari, right? And you driving in the sand somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
You going nowhere.
You ain't gonna take no Hummer to the track. You know what I mean? And drive like NASCAR, man. Man, you keep everybody in their lane. This is why I said Greg Roman, man. I mean, he's starting to put me in the remembrance of Cam Cameron. I'm serious.
Ooh.
Well, this is what I was feeling. You know what I mean? You know, and here's the thing, man. If you play Madden, I hate to do this, but if you play Madden, you will understand this. You know what I'm saying? Like Madden will teach you football, generic football.
Yeah.
Man, run your speed downfield.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then that's going to keep people in zone. So now people's fronts are becoming more predictable based off of you're supposed to dictate the way that the defense plays you. And I have not seen that until the second half. This second half right here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
agree.
Lamar needed room.
I agree 100%. The more you get a guy downfield, and even if like I said, if you don't, you got to commit a safety to it. You got to have a corner and a safety on top, and then so now you're playing 10 on 11 in the box. Now you throw another guy over there, so you're gonna keep people in too high. If you keep them in too high, you should be able to run the ball because you don't have. Because you do have a mobile quarterback. So now you're going to have numbers in the box all the time. But we got to get something down the field to push it over. And that's not me complaining because I'm happy about the win. But just thinking about, we're just throwing stuff out there on how we can be better going forward.
Right. You got to play. Listen, we're set up for the playoffs. I mean, we're 6-2. And we have not even played a complete game yet. I mean, you got Marcus Peters forcing fumbles for the second game in a row and catching the interception.
And catch a pick,
Marlon on the bench. Calais, hopefully that's not an Achilles. You know what I mean? You got key pieces on the sideline. And then guess what? Dez look good, bro. I'm sorry. Dez look good. You know what I mean? I appreciate what they're doing. They're trying to make sure that he doesn't injure himself for down the line and ease him in there, but you gotta show that on tape. You've got to attack teams downfield. We have not done that. Once we do that, I'm gonna see you at the Super Bowl, and we built for it. We don't need nobody else. And here's the thing: I understand why they're they're picking and choosing their times because Lamar got to have time, and it goes all the way back to the offensive line. But in our system, man, you don't need another tight end. You got a fullback who's a tight end who can pass block, and you got a running back. Max protect, let Hollywood go one-on-one, and just throw it, man. Just throw it downfield. We had one. You got two guys.
Yep.
Two guys, man. And then can you imagine once they start doing that, guess who's going to be underneath? You're going to have Dez on one-on-one, Dez,
the tight end
and the tight end. Yep. And really what I think we should do is take that fullback off the field. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just like you said, I'm gonna sum it up with this. Just like you said, stop all the gadgets, stop all the pretty stuff. You know what I mean? Right. As most of we should do is run that RPO.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And for those who don't know what an RPO is, Lamar's keeping his eyes on the box and people that are coming in, reading them, putting the ball in the belly, either keeping it or run it. You can pass that. You can pass right off of that.
Yep.
Pass. Stop doing all of this end around, and we ain't built for that, man. We can't even. We're not built for none of that. We can run an end around, you know what I'm saying, but we got to establish passing the ball. We got to play basic football, and that's all I'm saying, Coach.
You're right.
Play action down the field so we can get Dez on the field. And if you put Dez and then you got Andrews underneath, oh my goodness, that's all day. Who gonna stop that? Listen. We beat the Coltts 24-10. 24-10. Yep, I'm done, Coach. I'm sorry, man. I appreciate
That's a great call, man. Great call.
Vent, man. But this is basic football. So can you imagine being a GM? You think Eric DeCosta don't know this?
Right.
Last day,
he got the pieces there.
Our Super Bowl year, 2012, I think we lost four out of our 5 games, right? The Colts, the very team that we went up there and beaten -5 with the miracle at Mile High, they came in. If you can get the stats, I wonder what the score of that game, man. Peyton Manning came in Baltimore and destroyed us like 36-3
in the regular season.
Von Miller and them boys was him and the guy from who was the guy from Texas? They was vicious that year. The other
end was it Dumerville?
Yeah. No,
we had Dumerville then.
Yeah, no, but they got the one from DeMarcus.
Lawrence.
DeMarcus Ware.
Ware, that's who it was. Ware.
Yeah.
DeMarcus Ware.
They was, and guess what? Guess what we couldn't do? Protect Joe. And Joe, if you gave him time, Joe was on point the whole year. So guess what? Guess what? Somebody from upstairs did. They called down and say, John, look, put Brian McKinney in there. You remember that? Brian McKinney was in the doghouse, but he was our best left tackle.
Yep.
Once they put Brian McKinney in there and they squashed that beef, him and remember Donnell Ellerby, they was in John Doghouse. Once they put him in there, we never lost a game.
Right.
We went all the way to the Super Bowl.
Didn't we switch OCs that year too, right?
What'd you say?
We switched OC that year too, right?
No, it was Jim Caldwell the whole time. Caldwell came in there with
I thought Cam started that year off. And when we lost all them games, they got rid of him.
You know what? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Hey, look, man, I just don't live for Greg Roman, man. I'm just saying, man.
But if they execute, and I'll, this is the last point, and I'll get my last caller in. You talked about them being loyal. That was one of those little white lies that proved the loyalty. Because it was not execution. That was a totally different set of play calling.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
That was a totally different set of play calling.
And that's what we saw today. Don't tell me it was execution, because what you're saying is, Lamar he read the defense better. He ran faster. You're telling me Bozeman started staying in front of his blocks. And maybe they did start blocking better, but guess what? You got to get these guys going. They said it. Charles David, if you listen to the commentary, he even said it. He said, I think they should stop being a little less cute and try to just play straight up and
run downhill.
Run downhill and pass downhill. RPO. Lamar never turns his back on what's happening. Listen, Lamar. If you remember that play, was that the one that film study you showed with Lamar and the Steelers when he split the coverage? Was that you or was that Brian Baldinger?
Was it from the last game?
Yeah, man. Pittsburgh had the perfect scheme. They blitzed one. One had the edge, and one take the quarterback, one take the running back. Yep. But he split that one time, went right through it, stood tall, threw it right in the middle of the field. I think it was to Andrews, man, on his completion.
That's the sidearm throw that I really liked. Yes.
It's only one man that can do that. Lamar is one of one. I'm sorry. and don't sit up here and destroy our quarterback and get him hurt running up the middle of the defense because you're not calling plays that are conducive for him for quick reads, man. RPO, you coming in on running back, you can't blitz and cover at the same time.
You can't.
You can't split yourself in two. So if you blitzing, you're gonna leave something open. So what we should do is occupy every space on the field. Like you said, stop running even RPO. Just run either 3 wide, 3 wide, 1 tight end, 1 back. I'm sorry, Patrick Ricard, sit on the sideline. Give Lamar. If y'all playing zone, guess what? Lamar is a monster hitting his creases, hitting the seams. If you play man, once y'all run all downfield with the receivers, it's just him and the linebackers.
Yep.
Ain't no spy that can spy Lamar. You can do it on Madden, but in real life, you can't spy Lamar with no linebacker or no lineman.
Right. It's going to have to be a DB. It's going to have to be a DB.
Got to be a DB. Coach, you have a blessed one, man.
Hey, you too, man. I appreciate it. Great call. Great call.
Yes.
Great
Yes,
call.
sir.
So we got one more caller left, and that's going to close us out. And I appreciate you for waiting. 972, go ahead. Who we got on the line? Oh, I didn't unmute him. My bad. Players mess up. There we go. 972. There we go. My bad. I didn't unmute you. Who we got on the line?
My name's Cameron. I'm 19. I'm a young Ravens fan. I think we had a good game, but I think before we just need to get the receivers involved because I noticed the whole game we didn't call one wide receiver screen, getting the receivers in open space. And I think that's what getting the receivers frustrated is they only get out routes and slants. They don't get anything that lets them create, And then the thing with the play calling, I think Greg Roman just wants Lamar to just be spectacular, and if not, then we struggle.
I think that's more of Lamar wanting to be spectacular. I think Lamar wants to hit every play, like a home run, and nothing wrong with that. But in NFL, that's just the guys are too good. You got to take your 4 yards, take your check downs, you throw the ball away. Every play not gonna be spectacular. There's a lot of plays that he got tackled on when he was scrambling that I feel like he should have just threw the ball away. He was already out of the pocket. Yeah. He should just protect the football and play the next play. That's the. And I know he don't listen to me because I'm a regular Joe, but if I could give him advice and have him in front of me, I would just say protect the football each play and play the next play because you got a good enough team. If you don't turn the ball over, I think you'll be good. But go ahead.
Yeah, I just think we just need to call more screens and open space for receivers to create because all these just out routes and slants and stuff I can see them starting to get frustrated because they're constantly trying to do something and it's just not really working out. So I think this few practices him and the receivers and their OC just need to just get together and really just talk about this. So in the playoffs, it won't come back to bite us because we're gonna face some teams to where we just can't just run over everyone, and we need to.
It's part of development. It's part of development. The coordinators got to trust that Lamar is gonna protect the ball when he make downfield throws, and that's gonna come with trust. They got to trust each other. They got to know that Lamar just not gonna throw some crap up there and have turnovers. So it's a mutual trust between the coaches and Lamar, and then Lamar and the receivers. So if all 3 of them not on the same page, us throwing the ball down the field ain't gonna happen until we have to throw it down the field. But if we get that trust, and it starts with short routes, then we progress to intermediate, which we threw some intermediate stuff today, and then we can progress deep. Because some of those balls that the balls in the middle of the field that Hollywood caught, I would have much rather seen Snead, Dez, or one of the tight ends on those routes with Hollywood kind of streaking down the field behind us or something like that. Because for one, I don't want Hollywood to take one of those hits, and for two, it's just.
Sorry.
No, you go ahead. For 2,
But I also think that could help our O-line because we're all banged up, and them trying to hold on for these long developing deep passes. I just think they're not healthy enough to really just hold on that long. So I think calling quick plays could really just help him. So could really just help him and stuff.
Yeah, and even when we healthy, we not the greatest pass blocking team. If you put all 5 starters in there, Stanley is great at pass blocking, but the other 4 are okay at best at pass blocking. Even Orlando.
Yeah.
Orlando's a great run blocker, but pass blocking, those other 4 we are average to. I'm gonna just say we average. And so just sitting back there, constant drop backing is not our forte.
Yeah, like I still think Skura is like kind of hurt because he's not like, he's not really having like as good of a seat. I think he's not like as powerful or like quick as he was last season. I think he's still hurt, and I honestly kind of want him to set out, but there's no like other suitable option for because I think he still needs to get more healthy because. I remember in offseason, people were like surprised, like that he was ready at the beginning of the season. So I think he needs to sit out, but there's no other option and stuff. So I think like start utilizing more wide receiver screens, start getting them in open space to really help everybody from the O line to the QB to the wide receivers, and it could really just open up this offense so it won't become one dimensional like. Because in the playoffs, probably going to face the Steelers again.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna face the Steelers again in two weeks.
But we're probably going to play them again in the playoffs them and the Chiefs. And if they just stack the box and we can't run the ball, it's kind of over. And we're too talented enough to be like to where. If the other team stops to run, then we're through. We're way too talented for that.
Yeah, I agree 100%. But I appreciate you for calling in. We almost at our time limit. I want to get a few questions out the chat box, and we got prime time next week. So I don't know if I'm gonna do a call-in show next week because I gotta go to work the next day. So we got a prime time game versus the Patriots. And I look forward to it. This is the first time we going to face the Patriots. And I ain't going to say in my lifetime, but it feels like in my lifetime that Tom Brady is not the quarterback. It's the first time we going to face the Patriots. And I don't know how I'm going to feel about it. Because I don't want to overlook them. Because offensively, they don't have a lot. And the reason I know they don't have a lot, because I was defending Cam Newton the other day, talking about the lack of weapons he has, outside. But as soon as I say that, he'll go and have one of his monster games against us. So I don't want to jinx that. But we got a primetime game next week. Appreciate everybody that tuned in. In fact, you got any closing comments for us before we lock it out?
I think this team is a really great team. I just think we just need to the main thing I think is just the team needs more communication. It just seems like the offense just doesn't really talk during the games or after the games. I think the wide receivers and Lamar and Greg Roman should just one day just sit down and then talk about and see what's wrong.
So they get it right. They talk. They just you probably don't see it on camera, but I'm sure they talk because most coaches, as soon as you come out the field, is plenty to talk about. And trust me, you probably just don't see it because a lot of times they cut to Lamar. And he over there just sitting by himself. But trust me, they had that talk as soon as they get off the field. They do them adjustments as soon as they get off the field. But again, I appreciate you for calling in, man. And if we do have one next week, it depends on the game. It depends on our showing, whether I stay up late and do one. So, most likely I may do it, but I just don't want to, nobody to be banking on it. I appreciate you for calling, man. And you have a great, 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 great Sunday. Let me hit the chat box real quick, and then I'm gonna roll about this thing so I can catch the second half of football. 1 second, let me get my stuff straight. Close this. Yep, close that. Now a few things in the chat box. Second half we was a different team. I agree, and it's. That having 13 minutes of time possession in the third quarter is amazing. That means the Colts only had the ball for probably 3 or 4 plays. 3 or 4 plays. Somebody asked me, why do I think Dez didn't play today? I think he didn't play because we really didn't need him. Maybe had the second half started going like the first half, he might have got some more spin. But you don't know how much of the offense he knows either. He probably has a small package that he's in on, and that package will probably grow depending on how well he responds to, knowing the playbook. So, even though he was activated, I didn't expect to see him no more than 5 plays. And according to somebody else, he got like 1 or 2 snaps. So that's about what I expected. I don't expect Dez to have a huge role. I expect Dez to be situational, spotty, and help us going forward as we get into December, January. Dez is not going to come in and make this huge splash and take a ton of snaps away from people that have earned it. Because the thing is, all these snaps Snead been getting lately, Snead showed up last week and this week. So had Snead not showed up, then probably would have been some snaps that Dez got. But you can't put Dez in over Snead because Snead, show his worth. So, hopefully we'll get him in down the line and he'll contribute. And, once he gets in, I'm telling you, his first catch, if he get a touchdown, the energy is going to be through the roof because Dez has that infectious, competitive personality that will spread through the rest of the team. And that's why when he was not happy with the Cowboys, it was so infectious the other way. When Dez is going good, everybody loves Dez. And when he get that first catch or that first block or whatever he do to contribute, and God forbid he get a chance to throw the X up, I can't wait to hit you with one of these. Can't wait. Like my sister's a Cowboys fan, and every time she always do it, and I've been kind of jealous. I'm like, because I've always been a fan of Dez, not necessarily Cowboys, but always. So and with that being said, man, I appreciate you guys for calling in. We sitting at 118. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hit the like button, please. I don't know how many likes we got. I just can see the viewers. Hit the like button. Smash the like button. We're going to get videos out maybe Monday night and Tuesday night, depending on when they drop the all 22, because I definitely want to take a look at the route concepts we had that we threw the ball down the field. I want to try to to show some respect to Marcus Peters, man. Talk about some of his big plays. So I might, throw some Peters film in there, and not necessarily the obvious strips, but how he's covering guys and doing stuff to let our interior guys eat. And if I see a stat or something that jumps out, that may be, may throw that out there too. But hey, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I appreciate Ms. Antoinette for coming through in the Cash App. I appreciate the Tribe for coming through in the Super Chat. I appreciate Jared for coming through in the Super Chat, man. Salute to all you folks, man. Y'all have a great, blessed, and amazing Sunday. And so we're gonna have a post game show Sunday. I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. We're gonna have a post game show Sunday, and I'll see you guys throughout the week with my regular videos and the post game show next Sunday, man. Salute to you guys. Hey, let's go.